Shout out to Ben's studio on the lake. So this whole video is going to be a voiceover. For all you that saw my last video, one of my recent videos, that's, what is that, 16 inches? 16 inches. This is a piece of that cottonwood bark that I got with my buddy Stu up in the hills. 4 inches wide across the bottom, about 2 3/4 thickness. It's a real nice solid piece of bark. I'm going to be carving a WoodSpirit here. I'm going to leave the video running full time. Now, when you get this bark, you have to think of it as like slate. It's very shaly, so you'll see I'll just pull off that little piece. You got to make sure that the cracks don't go too deep in the carving, because when you're carving a WoodSpirit, all of a sudden the nose might chip off. Anyways, this is my Fordham Industrial Series. So I run the Fordham SR series. This is the industrial flex shaft. It's the square drive. So when you get the square drive flex shaft, like I show right here, you got to make sure that you get the square drive handpiece too. You can get the handpieces for, this is the 1/4 inch Kutzall extreme flame burr, but you can get the 1/8 size handpieces too. That's like a pressure release thing there. Put it in, and that sucker will never come undone. Now, I want to say I'm going to be doing lots of videos. I'm just going to clean up the bark with this. Lots of my upcoming videos doing bigger Dremel carvings, like that's my dust collector table. I got a new dust collector in my closet. Look how the dust, it just grabs the dust like crazy. It's awesome. I don't do a lot of voiceovers on my videos because, well, I got a TBI. For all of you that don't know, I have a traumatic brain injury from 14 years ago. It affected my processor in my head. So I sometimes have a problem processing what's going on. I'm thinking the words, but sometimes I can't say them. That's why I don't do that much voiceovers, because I got to be on the ball when I'm kind of watching the video saying what's going on. But I'm going to be doing mostly voiceovers because I got to wear my dust mask when I'm carving. Now that Fordham has a forward and reverse. I was first running it in reverse. Now I'm running it in forward. You see how it pushes the dust now. So, and yes, I'm left-handed. Some people are like, oh, you're lucky you're left-handed to carve with the Dremel because it pushes the dust away from you. But if you get yourself a good dust collector table, it will grab, you see it's not grabbing all that dust because I'm just going crazy to get that gray stuff off there. So there's how I'm talking about how it's shaly. But this is a pretty solid piece. This bark is actually really soft too. There I am, just quick, since I got the Fordham out, I'm just cutting the forehead in where it would meet the hair a little bit deeper. This cottonwood bark, you can buy it on Amazon. It's not cheap, let me tell you. I did once know a lady that sells it in Alaska, and she was just charging people too much money and sometimes not sending quality bark. I'm not going to say names. She's in that, I think she's still in that group, Kindred Spirits. That was once my group. I decided to give it up. I'm not a huge fan of social media, believe it or not. Yeah. So anyways, it helps if you have the Fordham or even a grinder with a sanding disc. Slope that back a bit. Will save you a lot of carving for later on if you want to get the nose to stick farthest off the face, like a side view, like a normal face. Hope everybody's doing good. I didn't really do too much editing on this video. And this will be my eyebrow line. And that pen's not good enough, so I need to get another pen. So I just kind of put the carving on the side so I can make sure I draw it straight across. Your center line is very important. The Jesus Christ cross right there, folks. Here's my nose. I try and draw both sides of the noses on the same. I don't do the point as much as I normally do on this one. You can see that it's not perfect, but I've carved so many friggin' WoodSpirits I can make it. The better you carve it on, the better you draw it on, the better your carving's going to look for the very beginners, I think. And the mustache, you can just make it, oh, I thought I drew one on so it comes straight down first. But I guess I didn't. So this one kind of comes off. This is kind of like, I guess you'd say, a little bit realism. Now you can see by taking that wood, see how far the nose already sticks off? Maybe I should, that pen's a little bit crooked, but the nose sticks farthest off the face now. It doesn't need to stick that, and it doesn't even need to stick that far off the face. You could carve a flat face wood spirit. I like my wood spirits to have lots of dimension, and to give it lots of dimension, the deeper that you carve it, and the more time you spend rounding the cheeks and rounding things off, the deeper it's going to look, and the more realism you're going to get from it. I'm not trying to carve a wizard here. There's a Kutzall Extreme Flame Burr. I'm not trying to carve a wizard here. I'm trying to carve a wood spirit. Yes, this wood spirit will have real eyes. The hardest thing to carve on the videos when you're doing the wood spirit is the eyes. That's the Kutzall Extreme Flame Burr, like I showed. So if you stick with that form, I didn't need to draw that mustache on yet because, well, we're going to carve deep below that nose. I had to turn my Dremel up here, sorry. Cut straight across the eyebrows. You can remove the wood underneath the eyebrows first, or you can cut the beside the nose first, beside the bridge of the nose. What route am I going to take? See, I just carved this 2 hours ago. Well, 3 hours ago. I think I removed the wood underneath the eyebrows. Me and my son went to thrift store shopping today. I got 3 handmade wooden spoons for $4. I got a spatula with a Christmas tree on it from Walmart. And I got a cool, see, I'm just carving beside the nose. I got a cool, I thought it was like a little girl's jewelry box. It's a little small thing, but it's really nice. But my son, when I showed it to him, he said it was a pen box, a pen and pencil box. So I got a cool pen and pencil box. I'm going to carve this pen and pencil box. I'm going to carve an eagle on it. A side view of an eagle. So there I'm just, that's what wood carving is, everybody, is just removing wood. The more confident you get, just because this bark carves super soft. I'm talking about any wood, take your time. The least aggressive you are on these burrs, the longer that they're going to last. The deeper that you carve everything, when you like below that nose, see how deep I had to carve there? The more I said, the more your wood spirit's not going to look so flat. Now, I'll show you later on how like even the eyebrows, they're still sticking up high. You can just carve them deeper, carve more out. That's what carving deeper means. Just putting the mustache in now. See how good that dust collector table works? The new dust collector. I fried my Wen dust collector. That didn't last too long. So all you that bought one, sorry, I hope yours lasts long because I suggested it. So now you see the cheeks there, that deep cut. Now I carved the mustache deeper underneath. This is how you get the raised cheeks. I carved that mustache deeper. Take more of the wood away. You see? I could still take more of that wood away below the nose on the mustache. Now, I'm still going to carve those eyebrows down deeper too, where your eyebrow hairs would be. See, this is my problem with the voiceovers too. I forget what my steps that I've taken on this. Just kind of taking the forehead back a bit more. Now I'm carving the eyebrows down a bit lower. This is how you get the nose to pop off more. But then again, it's not a big deal. Now look at it. Carve the eyes in a bit deeper, below the eyebrows. Take the wood away. That's what carving is. Cutting and removing. You know, there's not, I really have, this is my basic standard wood spirit. But the more you try different things, the more your wood spirits will be different. Once you get this formula right here, I always use this formula. Boom, there's your nose, there's your eyebrows, there's your mustache. There. Once you get that formula down, you can carve any type of face that you want. And I don't care what anybody says. I've carved thousands of wood spirits. I can't even carve like a realistic looking wizard yet. I've carved thousands of wood spirits. I maybe have 5 here at my house. I sell them just as fast as I carve them. They're fun to do. You're always learning. You're always trying to make them different. Not really on this one. It was early in the morning and I had to blast this one off before me and my son went out. So see there, I drew the line across the eyebrows and I removed the wood on top of the eyebrows. That's how you get your eyebrows to look a little puffier for when you put the eyebrow hairs in. But you don't have to do that. Your wood spirits don't need to have puffy eyebrow hairs. I wouldn't normally draw this stuff on that I'm drawing on, but I'm just doing it so you guys can see. Center line again. No, what am I trying to explain here? I just don't know. I just don't know. Oh yeah, making the forehead bigger because it was a little bit too short. So I just undercut that wood there. So, like again, I repeat, cutting and removing. I can't believe I got to talk for 50 minutes here. The more, like, I understand when you're first starting out, like, it's intimidating to cut deeper because you think you're going to ruin it. But it's just kind of like Bob Ross would say, there's no mistakes. It's always a happy mistake, because when you make a mistake, you're learning from your mistake. You're learning that it wasn't a mistake, or you're learning it was a mistake, or you're learning, you've just figured something out. I can figure things out from watching video. Like I relate to Just Carve Rob. I learn things from watching his videos, but I don't really learn too much from watching other people's videos. And I hate to say that. I've basically kind of learned on my own. Now you can just do the inside lip, put an open lip down there. You can make it like a more human style. I learned lots of tips from Ryan Cook. Chainsaw carving when I went out there, and he taught me some tips for carving the wood spirits. Now I'm cutting the inside of the mustache. Obviously, you can see, I don't think I need to say that. Cut and remove. I think once you get that formula down, cut and remove, you're going to be a lot better wood carver for the very beginners. It's hard to explain, but let me see if I can explain this, get my processor to work. If you can cut too deep and ruin a piece by carving it too deep, you can. But how are you going to learn if you don't try to carve it deeper and make it more round? So that's the bottom lip. I'm just going to do a light cut on the bottom side of that line. Another thing with the bottom lips too is try to make them round. So, and everything's my opinion. I'm just making this video to help the very beginners, or even people that's been carving wood spirits for a while. You see how it's kind of flat? Now dig into that corner. Now dig into this corner and kind of round it out. This piece is not going to have a finish on it, or I'm not going to wood burn it or anything. So it's hard for you, but you see how it's round in there? Make that lip round so it's dug into one corner and dug into another side. Now you see that mustache, how high that sticks off your mustaches don't need to stick that high off the lip. You could basically carve it almost right to the lip. Carve it down lower. And this is just, I have to learn myself. I have to learn slower to understand how it works. But once I know it, I know it. It takes me longer to learn. It always has, even in school. See how better that looks with the mustache lower to the bottom lip? And yeah, I'm carving fast here. I'm sorry, but this is going to be a 50-minute video. How can you make like I could carve a wood spirit in 10 minutes, but it'll be going too fast. I'm still moving fast here, but I'm trying to make it not too fast for you, for the people, and not too boring. I'm going to stop this voiceover here so I can save it, and I'm going to start again. Pray I save it and I don't have to do it again. All right, it's saved, and I realized it was only 15 minutes long. So here I am, kind of, what was I doing there? Just always showing you guys, the deeper that you carve, the more you can get the nose to pop off. I just thought of a funny story with another carver, but I won't mention it. Just Carve Rob always likes to see the side views. It shows the dimension. That's the way other people do their beards. You can round it, or I just do a straight cut. The proper way to do it is round it into the mustache, but I just cut mine straight down. I can look at, for example, the more carving that you do and the more you're online. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of social media. I barely post my carvings on Facebook on my personal page. But say, for example, if I was on a wood carving site and all my carving friends were on the wood carving site, like Uncle Kevin, Ryan Cook's best friend, posted a picture of a wood spirit. Just Carve Rob posted a picture of a wood spirit. My other friends post, like Stephen Kenzora posted a picture of a wood spirit. I can basically tell now whose wood spirit is whose wood spirit. What I mean by that is we all have our own style. So when you finally see that all your wood spirits are looking the same, it's fine. It's good. It's good. But if you're getting tired of that wood spirit, then start trying different things. Like, try carving different hair, different types of hair. Try carving different beards, different textures in the mustache. Try carving different eyes, bigger eyes, smaller eyes, cross-eyed eyes. Try carving different mustaches, different noses. See there how I'm carving deep? That's what I mean by, see how I'm carving deep beside the face? That was a bad cut. But I'm fixing it. Because I've done so many, here I am just bleeding off the mustache now. The beard, sorry, off the side of the face. I've carved so many, I can just keep carving, and I know how to correct my wood spirits are not the best wood spirits. I would basically just be an average carver. You see some of those guys with the YouTube channels that carve, what's that, Alec Lacrosse fellow? Look, I think so, but he carves wood spirits, or he carves wizard faces is what he carves. He's a wicked carver. He uses the gouges and knives and chisels and stuff like that. So you see I'm taking in that? Now, this is where I go for the cheekbones. I draw this on. You think cheekbones, how do you see cheekbones if somebody has a beard, a big patch, a big beard? Well, realistically, you don't. You do, but you don't. But you don't, but you do. But I give mine them anyways. Like I said, I'm not going for a wizard. So I just see that round there. I kind of just round it off. See that line? You can see the shading there, how it kind of seems like it's cheekbone. Redoing the hairs, carving it deeper. And a good tip is always look at both sides of your faces. Don't keep on working on one side of the face. So here you can see I'm full at it. Like I wasn't planning on to cut the beard and mustache hairs in, but there I am. See, I'm just kind of, for the cheekbones, I'm just rounding it off. Cutting that deeper. When I'm doing this, I'm looking at the other side of the face too. To try and you want to try and make both sides of there's that shadow. You can see it on that side, but not on the other side. Always looking at the other side of the face. If I was going to be carving this on my own, knowing I'm not filming, I would be switching to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right, to the right, to the left, to the left, to the right, switching it over a lot more. Now you see here, I'm crossing those beard hairs and mustache hairs. This is kind of like a little bit of a windy day wood spirit. You ask, why is it kind of a little bit of a windy day wood spirit? Well, that's the way the bark wanted me to carve it. It's how I cleaned it up. You see how I'm pushing those beard hairs a little bit over to the left? There I'm crossing the lines, making it so like it's windy, and then the beard hairs are crossing over each other. Actually, when this piece was done, I think that was probably the better part of the carving that I like. Now, for myself, when I'm carving at home and I'm not filming, I always seem to carve better when I got some music going. I'm just enjoying the moment, just cranking the tunes, and I just carve fast and heavy. Because I don't know, it's hard to explain, but it might just be me getting into the zone. Here's your nostrils. Now, I know lots of beginner carvers struggle with the nostrils, but this is when you're on the nose, this is when you really take your time. Take some more of that forehead back. I usually carve my foreheads a little bit too deep. Like if you're going for realism, the foreheads are basically flat to the face, I think. So just carving that nostril in. There's one side, looking at the other side, trying to cut it like the other side. Trying to make, my noses are never perfect. See that cut? Now remove the wood inside the bridge of the nose. You can cut beside the bridge of the nose to give it a more depth. This fellow, I don't know if he's going to have a bump, and your bridge of the nose doesn't need to stick that far off the face. Sometimes they look neat when you can barely even see a bridge of the nose. That's what I'm talking about. Give them some big bridges of the noses. That's tricky to say. And give them some small bridges of the noses. Say that really quick. Bridges of the noses, bridges of the noses, bridges of the noses. All right, so just always cutting, removing, adjusting. Now, I'm going to cut the nostril, and don't cut too close to the outside. I push up. I call it an undercut. Push up. Now I'll flare out the nostril, give it a little cut, make it round. Boom. If you cut too close to the outside of the edge of the nostril, you'll have a blowout. But it's okay. If you get the blowout, it just gives your wood spirit more character. That's why I'm saying like wood spirits are fun to do, because they're all character. It's just fantasy. Like Uncle Kevin explained it the best to me. Fantasy can be whatever you want it to be. So if your wood spirit doesn't turn out to be that great, like not what you tried to make it do, nobody else needs to know that. You know it, but they see how I curve that eyebrow? Gives it some more character. Like if your wood spirit or whatever, say if you're carving a dolphin, well, a dolphin, when you're going for realism, that's a different story, because if you're carving a dolphin and it's supposed to look like a dolphin, then you got to have the proper dimensions and all that stuff, and the scales need to be right. But that's like owls are good to carve, because that's what Uncle Kevin said. He goes, why do you think I carve so many owls, George? Because they're fantasy, and my owls can look like my owls. They don't have to look like friggin' a barned owl or a great horned owl or a gray owl. It's my owl. If people say, what kind of owl is that? You can say, well, I call it a friggity frack owl. I call it from an owl from way back yonder. It's your owl. Does that make sense? Go to the dollar store. Go look online. Just Google owl pictures, owl cartoon pictures. So a point of mine too is, your wood spirits are not going to look like my wood spirits. My wood spirits look like my wood spirits. Just carve Rob's wood spirits. Looks like his wood spirits. See, I should have taken that bridge of the nose down a little bit more, but I wasn't really. I don't know. I guess I wasn't paying attention. Now I'm just going to put this hole in the back here. Careful, because this is where you can jam up your burr and break your flex shaft for your Dremel. So anyways, I think it's break time. I'm just going to show you guys, sit back, look at your coffee, and look at your piece. Now, see that cheekbone there? It is on the other side, but you can't see it because of the shading, the way I got the lighting. That eyebrow is kind of, the eyebrows aren't even, but it's all right. Maybe the right side of his face or the left side of his face it's giving it an expression. There's the wind, see the beard and the mustache, how it kind of all blends together. See how nicer it looks when you carve the mustache down lower to the lip. There you can see the cheekbone. There's the other one. I think I do refine it a bit later. So I don't know what I'm going to do next here. I think I might just point out that cheekbone. See, my nose isn't perfect. One side is bigger than the other side. Now, if you want that nose to stick off, carve those eyebrows down lower. Recarve underneath the eyebrows. But that's good for me. Dum, 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 dum. Hope everybody's going to have a good Halloween. This will be the last video I put out before the Halloween challenge. The next video that will be the Halloween challenge video with everybody's carvings. And the prizes will be at the end of the video. Who wins? Whoever did a carving has a chance to win. I think there's a Dremel. There's Just Carved. Rob has a little carving that he did. Now here's the eyes. This is just another way you can do eyes. Draw a line straight across. Make sure they're equal. Carving eyes on YouTube when you're filming is very hard to do. When I carve eyes, when I'm not filming, I have the piece in front of me at all the time, basically almost on my lap, but not on my lap, but a lot more closer to me, and everything's center. And also another thing I'm going to talk about on this video is lighting. Lighting's very important. Like I have a up top lighting, I have a lighting from the left, on the left of me, and I have a light on the right. Now, I don't like the bright LED lights. So they give off, for me, they give off bad lighting. Even when I'm not filming, I don't like the light. So here's a Kutzall taper burr. I believe that's the silver one. I'm using this burr because it's soft wood. Cottonwood bark, if you have a chance to get some, holds great detail. It's got beautiful grain. Okay, so what I'm doing there is I'm showing what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut deep around those circles. Then I'm going to remove the wood around the cut to make the circles pop off. So the circles in there. So the better that you draw in your circles and the better that you follow your drawings, the better your eyes are going to look. But like anything else, the more that you do, the better you're going to get and the better you're going to be able to know how to fix your mistakes. And you know, I did one of my favorite wood spirits I'm going to grab it. It's in my closet, my bedroom. One of my favorite wood spirits that I did. I had to carve his eyes really deep. And it's just a wood spirit that I really liked. And I've saved it for myself. And I keep it in my closet. I pull it out and look at it sometimes. And that's how I can judge if I'm getting better or if I'm getting worse. Now, you see that right eye is lower? It's bigger, right? So see how I'm tapering away the wood from that cut, that circle? Taper it away. Because your eyes are sunken deeper than your cheeks. Have pictures of wizards where you're carving. Have pictures of I don't know, just pictures of people's faces, side view, so you can see how the bridge of the nose works, how the nose works, where it connects to the eyebrows. So you got to smooth out above those circles too. And I'm pretty well rushing on these eyes as well. Now, see how much bigger that right one is than the left one? I think. This is where I kind of get confused, but I'm fine with it. So now what I'm doing is rounding that circle off so it looks like there's kind of like maybe a football in there or a soccer ball or something. So like lighting, again, very important. I love being able to move my wood carvings around so I can get different lights, different shades, so I can get into different areas with the flex shaft. I don't know what you guys tell me. Do you guys like seeing the WoodSpirit videos? Yay or nay? Or, who knows? Maybe even this winter I might even try carving a bear with my Dremel. So I got these spoons. The spoons make great Christmas presents. I used to carve a lot of, what are those, bread wheels, those rolling pins. I carved a lot of the WoodSpirits on those rolling pins. They make great gifts. I just got another set of basswood that's like, I think it's like 2 inches by 2 inches. I got some new carving knives. I'm not a knife carver, but maybe I should, I think I'll probably make a silly video pretending that I am a knife carver, because I like inventing new names for cuts. He just carved, Rob? Yeah, like, I remember a funny story. See, I'm just taking my time rounding those eyes out. There'll always be a part inside the eye that's tricky to get to when you're using the flex shaft. When you could buy knives from Helvey, they're pretty well equal. Helvey, I don't know what I'm saying there. Shit the bed. Helvey, I messaged them and I said, I'd like to buy a blockout knife. No, I was going to buy just carved Rob one. I'd like to buy 2 blockout knives. And they messaged me and they said, what's a blockout knife? I guess the owner from Helvey Knives. What's a blockout knife? I said, a knife to remove lots of the wood. He messaged me back. He says, yeah, I've never heard of that before. Like, kind of like, he knew what I meant. It's called a rough out knife or whatever. But he goes, yeah, I never heard of that before. So he's basically, I thought he kind of was being a little bit conceited. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to buy those knives. But I wish I did now, because now I think that fellow has cancer or something. So don't hold me to it, but it's a lot harder to get those knives. I just got some nice OCC knives because I'm copying Just Carve Rob. Now, from Branson Artworks, I think it's Branson, he's a wicked carver. He can carve realistic wizards. And he says, always try and make the top of your eyelids more round and your bottom eyelids more flat. He says, most people make the biggest mistake of making the bottom eyelid just as round as the top one. So you can see on the left hand, here's this wood's so soft. Here's a diamond burr. It's not pointy. Sometimes I'll use pointy burrs, but I do not like to use pointy burrs too much, because it seems like the point, if you've got a pointy burr, it seems like the point always kind of somehow scrapes the wood. And if you got a perfect cut in there and you're cleaning it up and you thought, okay, that's perfect now, but then if you move your piece around, you look at it in the different lighting, you see a shadow and you'll see a scrape from that point. So you don't, sometimes I use pointy. If this was harder wood or cottonwood, I do have a pointy dull Dremel bit, diamond bit that I use sometimes for eyes. I'm going to be making videos called Back to the Basics, showing all the tools that I use for Dremel carving. Now, I just showed there, these bits aren't made to spin as fast as the Dremel spins. So push your burr in deep into your collet, push it out just a little bit and tighten it up. And if the burr gets stuck in your collet, you can tap it down and pull it out. So there I do one top of the eyelid on one eye, try and replicate it on the second eye. And I did the worst eye I usually do first. Like seems like my right eyes are usually never as good as my left eye, so I do my right eye first, so that I can replicate my right eye to the left eye, if that makes sense. I do better left eyes. So do your bad eye first, because then you can make if your right eye's a bad eye, do that first, because then you can make your left eye just as bad as your right eye. Now, you plug into the corners. See how I'm going to push? I'm going to push that deep into that corner. So another thing Ryan Cook taught me, and Kevin Lewis too, Ryan Cook's best friend, is dig deep into the corners when you're doing eyes. See, they're both as deep now. Now just somewhat kind of round it off. Try your best to round it off. You know, my eyes are still sometimes look like they're flat. Even though you did that football mound at first, it seems like my eyes just kind of go flat. But another good tip that I've taught myself and I've learned for myself is, I'm not saying I invented this, but because you're digging deep into the corner of your eyes, each eyeball inside there, well, then carve your eyelid, your top eyelid and bottom eyelid closer to your eyeball. And then that will make it round too. Does that make sense? So make your eyeball round. See there, I'm doing it now. I'm taking my eyelid closer to my eyeball and it helps make it round. Kind of just because your eye, like the eyelids shouldn't stick way out past your eyeball. It should be real tight fit, excuse me. There's lots of different ways to do this. So your top eyelid, that was kind of a bad cut there. Your top eyelid overlaps your bottom eyelid. I should have really taken down the side beside the eye there where I cut in. And you got your little eye duct there. Now I'm just going to slowly kind of shape. This would be a good time just because if you stop, go downstairs, make a coffee or get another beer or something, or go smack your old lady in the butt, you'll come back and you'll look at your piece and you'll see something that you never even realized looked so not good when you were doing the carving. So it's good to take breaks, walk away, adjust your eyes, come back, and you might see something that you don't like when you come back. Now, I have my Dremel hooked up to a foot pedal, just a cheap on-off Amazon one. But I always run my Dremel full throttle. It's always set to maximum. Now, because first of all, Dremel does. There I am cutting the top eyelid. Dremel doesn't suggest cutting in the bottom eyelid. Dremel doesn't suggest to actually, I don't know if Dremel doesn't like you running a speed control foot pedal or a foot pedal when you have a Dremel, because your Dremel is speed control. I don't know why Dremel does not make Dremels yet that have, you just turn it on, it spins maximum, and it comes with a speed control foot pedal. Now, I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% positive, but the earlier Dremels, before I started my YouTube channel, you could use a speed control foot pedal. But then all of a sudden, they stopped. You can't use if you got an older Dremel, you can use a speed control foot pedal. Now the new Dremels, you cannot use this. It does not work. I think they put a blocker in their Dremel because too many people were calling in saying that they're using their Dremel with a foot pedal and their Dremels doesn't work anymore. Because when I'm using my Dremel with a foot pedal, I turn my Dremel up maximum, unless when I'm using the sander. My Dremel is turned up maximum, and I just use my foot pedal. I'm always carving at full speed. That's my point. I just go harder to the touch and lighter to the touch. Very often, if I was carving this, like I didn't turn my Dremel down once. The better, because the slower this, even this diamond bit or even the Kutzall bits, the extremes or any bit like this, the faster that bit spins, the less marks it's going to leave on the wood. That's a pretty big eyelid, but it works. It works. Now, the easiest, see, I'm going to plug in deep here. The easiest eyes, I could have made it look up or I could have made it look down. The hardest eyes are to do are to make you look straight, to make that wood spirit look straight ahead. Yes, I can do them, but I didn't do it here. The easiest eyes to do are make them look left or make them look right. This fellow's looking left. Just plug it in, just kind of do some rotations inside there, hollow them out so they kind of look equal. Now, this little cut that I'm doing here, that would be like, you know how your eyes have a color band around them? That's what that would be, the iris. I don't know. I guess the center part we hollow out, it's the pupil. Then say, so my eyes are blue. So that would be kind of, it just gives it a little bit more character if you look close enough. Just kind of give it an undercut underneath the mustache to the lip. It will separate the lip from the mustache. Undercuts are huge in wood carving. We'll get more into that when I'm doing this little, I think I'm going to start carving this little pen box tomorrow. I don't know what type of wood it is. Kind of looks like Paduke. But anyways, I got a Christmas tree, fence board Christmas tree, edited for the last, it's been in my private for the last 4 days, so that there's going to be another fence board Christmas tree video. I got to think of a Christmas challenge. My Christmas challenge this year is not going to be like the last couple of years I've done. It's going to be a very simple challenge. See, between the eyebrows, you can give them those little cuts. With this diamond burr, you can give them the age wrinkle cuts. You can see here how I'm just blasting them in, because the age wrinkles on any old wizard or anything are never perfect. They're always all over the place. Giving them some little cuts, some age lines underneath the eyes. Give it another age. See how crooked that one went? Don't care. Just don't care. Kind of bend them down a bit. Lee! Hey! I got new carpet on my stairs. That's my cat. I hear clawing at the stairs. There's a aluminum cutting burr. That's a cylinder burr. When you buy those sets, you get like sets of 10 aluminum cutting burrs, 1/8. All the burrs I use is basically standard 1/8. You can get smaller burrs. You have to change the collet. And I'm just quickly carving in. This gives them, you can use this for, I like the taller. When you buy those aluminum burrs, you get a smaller cylinder burr and you get a taller one. I like the taller one. The smaller one seems like it does 2 cuts when you're doing that. The taller one seems like it does a single cut. Now you can use this cylinder burr for beard hairs. I got lots of videos on that. So there's that. Just quick, blast it off, get her done. Now there's the pointy diamond bit. Now I would use this normally with my RAM microcarver. It spins 50,000 RPMs, and that burnt out diamond bit burns the wood at the same time. So, but why I'm not putting any finish on this piece. I didn't want to burn the wood, because if you burn inside those eyes and eyebrows and stuff like that, and the eyelids, when you burn it, you don't put a finish on your piece. Sometimes it looks like that wood spirit's wearing makeup. So there's another cylinder burr. That's the gold one. Now here I am carving deeper on the sides of the temples, just to give it some more depth. Nothing crazy. Just cut it a little bit deeper. Just like, see how much that helped it? Gives it some more shadows. Wood carvings are, that's why I like Ben's Studio on the Lakes videos so much. He's good at explaining things. He knows the history of wood carving and sculpture and all that stuff. He's a very, very intelligent person. Wood carvings, shadows. So this wood spirit kind of looks like Uncle Kevin's. Showing you a close-up of the eye. That left eye, I could cut the hole up a little bit deeper, but that's fine. Now I could take those eyebrows down. The tip of the nose sticks farthest off the face, but when you look at it straight on, good enough to me. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I made this wood spirit for one of my best friends. And I'll show you later. Oh, out of coffee break. So now looking at this piece, I took my eyes off it, went downstairs, and I said, well, how do I want to do the hair? It doesn't need to have hair, but I thought it would have like a cowlick. So like on the left there, the cowlick. I don't know if it's a cowlick, but that's where it would part, right on the middle top left there. Here's this plugged up Kutzall gold burr. That's the gold ones, like carving with sandpaper. Just giving it a little things of hair there. Nothing crazy. One time Ben said, I don't know, like I don't know how people say they let the wood. I laughed. I don't know how if you guys want to go watch his videos, it's called Studio on the Lake. Very knowledgeable person. Just Carve Rob's very knowledgeable too. I don't know anybody with more knowledge than Just Carve Rob when it comes to tools. Just Carve Rob, that man knows his tools, and he loves answering questions about tools. Wrenches, sockets, tool, anything to do with a tool, Rob will probably know the answer. Before I buy new tools, I ask Just Carve Rob. And it's good to see that he's been making videos again. So you see, I'm just kind of slowing down, just cleaning up the hair. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm just getting rid of any cut marks that I see. I was talking to this WoodSpirit's for Just Carve Rob. I was talking to him and I says, I'm going to send him some of that, I forget the name, that birch type wood that I got. I'm going to send Amy Jo some. What's that wood? Not alder, but that white wood that I got when I was with my buddy Stu up in the forest getting this bark. Aspen. Amy says it's her favorite. I've carved it before, and it is actually pretty nice wood to carve, but it is a little bit fuzzy. So there's a little bit of a cowlick part. But I said to Just Carve, because me and Rob, we get things for each other and send it to each other. I bought a knife blade here for Beaver Craft, and Rob says he'll use the blade and make me a knife, so I bought that. So I got to ship that to him. I said, is there anything else that I got to? I'm going to send him the aspen wood. I'm going to send him a few pieces of this bark. I said, is there anything else? He goes, yeah, I'd love a updated WoodSpirit by Carving Fusion with real eyes. I says, why? Why do you want me to carve real eyes so you can pick them apart? He goes, no, all the WoodSpirits I have from you don't have real eyes. So Rob, you can see I didn't spend too much time on these eyes. So this WoodSpirit. So don't go picking it apart when you get it. And you don't need to open it on video. I see that because I used to do that. I used to have a big community. The Carving Fusion is still a big community, but online social media stuff's a little bit for me to belong to big groups and stuff like that. Well, run big groups is just too much for me, too much opinions, and I just really don't give a shit. It's better for me to stay in my little bubble. There's been a few people that they were friends of huge supporters of mine. I was supporters of them too, but they started YouTube channels, and I said that, well, good luck on that, but you're on your own. And then when I watched the videos, it wasn't really my thing. So why should I support somebody's YouTube channel when it's not my thing? Why should I support it? It's just, so I told them that. I says, yeah, well, I probably won't subscribe to you, but good luck, and I'll help you any which way I can. But when I said that to a few of the people, they unfriended me. One of them was like a really good friend of mine. As soon as I said I'm not really into their YouTube and I'm not really going to support it, does that make sense to you? Why should I support something when it doesn't really work for me? It just kind of seems like if I was going to support it, it would just be fake. That was Scotch Brite that I used there. They said, well, what about all the stuff I've done for you? I'm like, well, don't forget I've done lots of stuff for you too there, pal or girl or whatever you want to be. So when it comes to YouTube, I'm just kind of in my own little bubble. I just do my own thing, and that's the bottom line. I support all you guys with new YouTube channels and stuff like that. And I wish you the best of luck. It all comes from hard work. The harder you work, the better you're going to do at anything in life. I'm not jealous of anybody with YouTube channels. I really just don't give a shit. But I see all these channels now doing what I did before, like sending carvings to each other and this and that and supporting each other. And, it makes me think, well, why am I not getting carvings from anybody anymore and this and that? I said to myself, well, to Robert Vreeland from Jordy Johnson, it's because I opt out of that. It became too much for me. It was getting a little bit overwhelming for me. So here's different lightings to show you. Like, lighting's important. It just got to be too much for me and overwhelming. But I'm still going to do the challenges and the giveaways. And a few times a year, I'll call for pictures of people woods carving, and I'll do the wood carvers videos. But the least I'm on social media, for me, besides YouTube, the better. And that's just for me. And that's not insulting anybody. And I'm happy they're doing that's my favorite part of this WoodSpirit. It's a happy looking fellow. But it's good that they're sending those carvings to each other and stuff like that. Because, well, I'm not going to lie, when it comes to wood carving, I created that. I'm not saying it bragging. I really don't give a shit. And that's good, even if they don't like me. There's a little Jordy just carved. They're keeping the tradition alive. Because I had to opt out of it. It became too much for me and I was becoming unhappy. There's a Just Carve Rob Pumpkin King. I hope everybody's doing good. I hope I wasn't babbling about crap too much here. And thank the Lord Jesus, this voiceover is over. You guys, your wood spirits will be your wood spirits. They won't be mine. You can do it.